This is music, and this is a bunch of Blindbuys. The hacksaw Craig Danger is celebrating his 1 year anniversary in the vinyl community with a fun contest. Now, he covers ground on his channel quite different from the ground I cover on this channel. He covers a lot of R&B and soul, but that doesn't mean we can't support each other. And he's celebrating his anniversary in the VC with a fun contest, and the theme is near and dear to me, Blindbuys. So this is my entry into his contest. Now, he has some stipulations, of course. 1, subscribe to his channel, done. 2, mention the name of his channel at least once in your video. 3, pick 3 to 5 albums you've blind bought and talk about them. And of course, let him know that you have made an entry video. So now I'm going to say the name of his channel, and I'm gonna say it like a real YouTuber. Craig Danger Vinyl Record Player. How YouTubery was that? So let's turn to the blind buys. So the first one is actually Iron Maiden's Killers. Now, of course, this is not the item I blind bought. This is a reissue. But a lot of you know this story already. My favorite album of all time is Iron Maiden's Somewhere in Time. And that was the first album I ever bought for my own allowance. And I played the hell out of it and loved it so much that come allowance time again, I decided to buy another Iron Maiden album. And that was Killers on cassette tape, because I think it was the only one they had in the record store. And I hadn't heard Killers before. I had only heard Somewhere in Time. So I bought it, I took it home, I listened to it, and I was shocked. It was a different singer. As Paul Di'Anno sings in this one, not Bruce Dickinson. Paul Di'Anno, super cool, super awesome singer too. The production was not as polished, and the music had a slightly more punky edge to it, and some of the songs were almost like more groovy in a way. But I still loved this album. I had never heard it before, so that was a bit of a shock. So to me, this counts as a blind buy, and it's probably the most important blind buy I ever did. It was the first album I ever blind bought, and it was the second album I ever bought for my own allowance. So there you go. So up next, we have this one here, Gold by Kai Band. So this, I saw it listed, I don't remember where, as hard rock. So I figured, yeah, okay, cool. I'm probably gonna like it, so I picked it up. There is a little bit of hard rock on this, but to me, it's more like classic rock. You have some kind of mostly 70s hard rock elements on here, the hard rock ones, but you have some very mellow stuff too, and you have some quite unique things going on. So Kai Band, it's a Japanese rock band. The cover is awesome too, by the way. So it's not intense, like, you know, heavy and intense like 70s hard rock is, although you have some elements like that, and it's not like fun and uplifting like a lot of 80s hard rock is. They kind of have their own classic rock thing going on, or unique Kai Band rock thing going on with some elements from hard rock, but I would not classify it as a hard rock album. It's an album I enjoy a lot nonetheless, and it's an album that's really nice to have on in the background while doing, you know, chores and stuff around the house. So Kai Band, a Japanese pressing, is a Japanese band. I don't think this one came with an OB strip. I think instead we have this OB sticker. So there you go, Kai Band. Very interesting. the center label is awesome too. It has the that kind of cityscape too. So it's a very very good album, but it's more of a classic rock thing. Okay, up next we have this one, Take This Hammer by Leadbelly. So Leadbelly is a blues legend, I would say, and I knew of Leadbelly. I've read about him, and I thought his his story was interesting. You know, he was from a different time. You know, when times were actually very tough, and you had to be tough to get by. So he got involved in some crime. He was in and out of prison. He's killed some people. I think he even stabbed a dude at some point. Um, he, I think he got released from prison because he wrote a song for the warden's wife or something. So a very fascinating story from a different time, and a blues legend. So I had heard about Leadbelly, but I hadn't heard his music. And then at some point I was browsing an online record store, and they had this one here, a quite old pressing. This is a compilation. It's a French pressing um, of some Leadbelly songs, and I decided, you know what, his story is so fascinating. He was, I think, the first one to use the word woke in kind of more of a popular culture sense. And so I was very fascinated, and I, jumped at it. And this is very, very interesting. It is certainly the blues, but it's very different from what we would associate with the blues now. It doesn't have that, heavy, um, dark, I would say, heavy, dark kind of practice in the graveyard feel that a lot of blues has now. This is more folky, but you can certainly hear it's the blues. It's very, very interesting, and I actually quite enjoy listening to it. But if you expect it to sound like, sort of your stereotypical blues, you might be disappointed. But if you're just interested in hearing some, American folk music, uh, from the blues and African American tradition, this is super interesting, and it is enjoyable, and he's a very very interesting character as well. So Leadbelly. Okay, up next, Madam X. We reserve the right. I blind bought this one because the cover art is so weird. Um, and you know what? I love this album. It is cheesy. It is as cheesy as it looks, but it's good fun. It's heavy metal, hard rock, super 80s, nice melodic guitar riffs, cheesy lyrics, all that stuff. And it's just good fun. I really like it for what it is. But I blind bought it because of the bizarre picture on the cover. The logo is pretty cool with the rose and all that stuff. And these two ladies here are actually uh, very, very accomplished musicians. Roxy, I think she's the only um, member now, original. I don't even know if she's an original member, whatever. She was in Vixen, as far as I remember. And so she's already here on this album. She's a veteran. So that's actually the highlight. That's the musicianship of these two ladies, the Petrucci sisters. Um, but there you go, Madame X. If you want some fun music, check it out. And the last blind buy that I'm gonna show is this very similar story, Reckless. I picked this one up because the cover artwork was bizarre. I mean, and she's the vocalist, by the way. She looks completely creeped out by this strange looking 70s glam rock dude with this rose. This is from 1980 as far as I remember. Um, and it's fantastic. It's great. It's hard rock heavy metal. It's from 1980, but it sounds like it's from 1985 or something. But it does also have some roots in 70s hard rock. So in a way, it builds on the heritage from the 70s, and in a way, it's ahead of its time. It's a fantastic hard rock album. They later kind of resurfaced and were completely rebranded as, a glam metal band. And this guy is the only original member on there. They have a dude singing. I haven't heard that album. It's probably fun, but this one is great. It's a fantastic hard rock album. I'm really glad I picked this one up. And it's not as cheesy and creepy as the cover kind of makes it out to appear like. You know what I mean? So there you go. 5 blind buys. Congratulations to Craig Danger for I guess, 1 year in the vinyl community. This was my entry. If you like your soul, your R&B, go and check out his channel. Thanks for watching.